Welcome to my first vegetable garden. Today I want to spend actually a lot of time talking about acclimation. That's the process of taking your plants that are grown indoors under grow lights and getting them used to the outdoors sun. Inside, and this is really important because you could do all this work, have beautiful transplants, and then you kill them. Inside, they're not getting hit by the UV rays of the sun, so they don't have any tolerance to that. If you take your plants outside, or if you go right from under the grow lights, right to outside, right to planting, a single day of sun will kill your plants off. They have to be hardened off slowly over about a week's time. I will go over a way to do that and kind of make it more of a plan rather than me just saying, hey, take it out a little bit each day, give it some sun each day, and then you're done. I'm actually going to go over a plan. And this is really a video for new gardeners to really understand that. Let me just show you what happens. So these are dwarf tomatoes, and they were grown inside under grow lights, and I put them here by my window. My window is south facing. The sun is coming in, hitting this group of plants first, and it's only about 8:30 a.m. and then the sun moves and then all the plants get hit. Well, I didn't acclimate these. I didn't get them used to the UV rays of the sun, and you can see the price that's being paid on the plant that gets the sun first, and therefore it has more direct sun throughout a several hour period, and it got really beat up. It's going to come back. It should be okay. And as you move away from the plant that gets the sun first, you come to the second one, a little less beat up, but you can see where the sun gets in there. It was dying. And then you come over to the one that's furthest away from the sun, and it's nice and green. The plants here got the sun in lower doses. The plant was able to acclimate and everything was okay. This is what can happen if you just go right from under the grow lights outside and don't go through this slow acclimation process. Let me explain that in details. Here are the details, a couple ways to do it. Every plant is a little bit different. Some of your plants are a little bit more tolerant to the UV rays and they can handle it. And I'm in the process of bottom watering my plants today, and just thought it'd be a great time to talk about it. So every plant here looks pretty lush, looks pretty good. Your weakest plants are really your greens, your endives, your lettuces, your spinach. They're mostly a leaf. If you were to really go and put these straight out there, they're going to die off, and the sun is also going to get to the stem, kill the stem, and your plants are dead. Sometimes, like your tomato plants or even your cucumbers, will get leaf damage. The leaves may get white, they look like they've faded a little bit, become a little bit papery, but they survive. But the plant is beat up. So leafy greens are the most fragile, but this damage will happen to all your plants. One trick is, as these are growing, like for instance, let me slowly go up here, you can see some sprouts coming up. Some of the seeds are germinating. You could take this flat out right now for 15 minutes to 30 minutes full sun, because when they break the surface, they don't know they're indoors, so they have the UV protection. So you put them outside a couple times, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and you kind of acclimate them over the period of time that they're growing indoors. Now the risk to that, sometimes it's too cold out, you can't do that. You would do that if the temperatures are above freezing. They can take, 40-degree temperature for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they're going to be perfectly fine. Sometimes there's a risk you could bring in pests or problems, but when the temperatures are that cold, a lot of insects aren't around. But it is a great way to acclimate your plants as they're growing. And it also kills off mold and fungus. Sunshine is a great antiseptic, so it does help the soil. Any fungi that are growing on the surface of the soil are often killed off by direct sun. So that's a great way to do it. Most of the time we grow stuff indoors and we get to that 4, 6, 8 week period, and then we have to acclimate the plants slowly outdoors. And let me give you kind of a plan on how to go about that. And we're going to consider the days as either no sun, completely cloudy like on a rainy day, and any other day where the sun is peeking out, we consider that a full sunny day. So we have complete clouds or a sunny day. So this flat is a good example of plants that are ready to really get out into the garden. And again, if they're not acclimated to the sun, The UV rays are really going to damage the leaves, bleach them, they'll get white, they'll get papery, they'll almost sometimes look see-through. That is sun scalding, so you don't want that to happen. They also have to get used to the wind, the cold, temperature fluctuations, but that's less worrisome than the UV rays of the sun. So this flat has really been under the lights, let's just say, for 8 weeks. So I recommend putting them outside for the morning sun, anything before 12 noon. And we're going to just kind of go through it real quick. First day, if you got sun showing, 15 minutes to 30 minutes. If there's no sun, completely cloudy, about 45 minutes. Now, if the sun is really intense, like, not a single cloud, you cut this back maybe to 15 minutes. So it's pretty straightforward once you understand how to do this. Full sun, less time for the first day. Completely cloudy day, you can stay out longer. UV rays still come through the clouds, but it's diminished. Next day, I would probably do about the same thing. Let them get some of the sun, for a short period of time, 15 to 30 minutes. Cloudy day, 45 minutes, even an hour sometimes is okay. That's the first 2 days. The next day, just add about 15 minutes onto however you started. An hour and 15 minutes for a completely cloudy day, 30 to 45 minutes for a sunny day. And do that for day 3, day 4, and even day 5. Come day 6, you can leave them out for a good hour to 2 hours and make sure that it's morning sun. The sun from 8 to 10 is not as strong as the sun from 10 to 12. You're just kind of slowly acclimating it to the elements outside. And then that 7th day, maybe a little bit longer. And you can kind of eyeball your plants. If you're putting kale out, if at the 6th day, 7th day, you don't see any damage on the leaves, and you'll see it, it's pretty clear. Some, leaf damage is fine. But you're going at a slow enough pace so that the damage is only going to be on the leaves and not at the stem. When that stem gets hammered by the UV rays, that's when you end up losing your plants. So if you don't notice any damage come day 6, day 7, you can really leave these out for about a half of a day. Now, this is really important. If for some reason for that first week it's all cloudy days, you do have to proceed with a little bit more caution. If they're getting direct sun for that week's period, they're going to be much stronger, and they can probably stay outside for quite a long time if you want to go past the 7th day a little bit. But if it's going from cloudy for that 7 days to the sunshine, just keep an eye on them, see how they do. Now, I can't give you the perfect way to do it, but that's the general principle, and it's kind of slow and steady, but it makes a huge difference. After that week, the plant is toughened up. It's really able to withstand the UV rays. It's used to the wind, it's used to the temperature changes, and now these plants are hardened off, they're acclimated, and they're ready to go into the ground. I prefer really a combination. When they first germinate, like I was telling you, they're assuming that they're going into the sun, so they've got some UV protection. I like giving them some sunshine during that first week, 2 weeks of growth. That kind of toughens them up, and then maybe you can't get to it every week, but you've started the process, and then when you go to that final week of acclimation, they're a little bit stronger, and you really don't end up damaging your plants a whole lot. But just remember that if you don't go in slow and steady, you are going to harm your plants. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and please subscribe. I'll go through an entire season of how you start plants indoors, how do you get them outside, taking care of pests and disease, and just about everything associated with vegetable gardening. And my goal is to help you grow food and have some fun. Thanks for watching.